Hello my friends, good day. In the previous episode, we talked about the Nile cruise that takes you from Luxor to Aswan, and its previous stop
was a stop in the city of Esna, and today I will continue the journey with you. Our stop today, we will stop in the city of Edfu. There is also the Edfu temple. It is a very huge temple. We will see it and talk about a lot in this episode before we start our episode. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and support us so that we continue to provide our content. When the boat moves from Esna until it reaches Edfu, you will see very beautiful scenes of the Egyptian nature of greenery and fresh air throughout the trip, and you will feel relaxed in this short period of time between the city of Esna and the city of Edfu, where the distance is not very far, but about 50 kilometers, but you will feel good. During this period, you hope that this journey will last longer due to the wonderful sights that you will see on your way. The Temple of Edfu or the Temple of Horus is the second largest temple in ancient Egypt, after the Temple of Karnak. It is located in the city of Edfu in Upper Egypt on the west bank of the Nile River, which was known during the Hellenistic period in colloquial Greek as Pylamdalando Meganu Omicron Pylanda Iota, and in Latin, Apollinopolis Magna. The temple represents one of the last attempts of the Ptolemies to build temples in the style and splendor of their predecessors. It took about 180 years to build the Temple of Horus. The temple was dedicated to the main god Horus, who was identified as Apollo under the Greek interpretation. It is one of the best preserved shrines in Egypt. The temple was built during the rule of the Ptolemaic kingdom between 237 and 57 BC. The inscriptions on its walls provide important information about language, mythology, and religion during the Hellenistic period in Egypt. In particular, the inscribed texts of the temple's construction provide details, both, of its construction as well as preserving information about the mythological interpretation of it and of all other temples such as the Island of Creation. There are also important scenes and inscriptions from the sacred drama narrating the ancient conflict between Horus and Seth, interpreted during the German Edfu project. The engraved symbols and letters remember the rituals that were followed in ancient times. The temple building was built where a great battle took place between Horus and Seth. The Temple of Edfu was one of several temples built during the Ptolemaic kingdom, including the temple complex of Dendra, Esna, Kamambo, and Philae. Its size reflects the relative prosperity of the time. 6. The current temple, whose construction began on August 23, 237 BC. It initially consisted of a pillared hall, two transverse halls, and a chamber of the Holy of Holies surrounded by small niches. Construction of the temple began during the reign of Ptolemy II. Ptolemy III or Getisand was completed in 57 BC. During the reign of Ptolemy XII the Piper. It was built on the site of an earlier, smaller temple that was dedicated to Horus, although the earlier structure was oriented east to west rather than north to south as at the present site. This destroyed edifice is located to the east of the current temple. Written evidence was found indicating the existence of a building program during the reign of the New Kingdom kings Ramesses I, Seti I, and Ramesses II. The sarcophagus of Nectanebo II, the remains of an earlier building, is preserved in the inner sanctuary alone, while the Holy of Holies is surrounded by 9 niches. The Temple of Edfu fell into neglect as a religious relic after Theodosius I's persecution of pagans and the decision to ban any worship other than Christianity within the Roman Empire in 391 AD. As in other places, many of the reliefs carved into the temple were distorted by followers of the Christian religion that dominated Egypt. The black ceiling of the hypostyle hall, visible today, is believed to have been the result of arson aimed at destroying religious images that were considered pagan. Over the centuries, the temple was buried 12 meters, 39 feet, under drifting desert sand and layers of river silt deposited by the Nile. Local residents built their homes directly on top of the former temple. Over the centuries, the temple was buried 12 meters, 39 feet, under drifting desert sand and layers of river silt deposited by the Nile. Local residents built their homes directly on top of the former temple grounds. By 1798, only the upper reaches of the temple's edifices were visible, when a French mission identified them. In 1860, the French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette began working to remove sand from the Temple of Edfu. The Temple of Edfu is almost intact and is a very good example of an ancient Egyptian temple. Its archaeological value and highly preserved condition have made it a tourist center in Egypt and a frequent stopping point for many riverboats plying the Nile. In 2005, the access road to the temple was renovated with the addition of a visitor center and paved parking lot. An advanced lighting system was added in late 2006 to allow night visits. Here we have reached the end of our episode. Wait for us in the next episode as we complete the series of the Nile cruise from Luxor to Aswan. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button so that we continue to provide our content. Thank you.